Can you give us a little bit of update on what we've done with Bruce Ohr in investigating that alleged corruption?
You know, Bruce Ohr is a key figure. He was a Justice Department official, senior official. Remember, Christopher Steele, who was a spy working for the Clintons and the DNC and the FBI. We have documents showing he was paid by the FBI during the Clinton campaign, so during the presidential campaign. So it was his joint operation. But then they eventually cut him off because he was leaking. So what did they do? They used Bruce Ohr, the Department of Justice official, who had a connection to Christopher Steele that was inappropriate, in the sense his wife worked for Fusion GPS that was hiring Steele. So they were all working together. He had this massive conflict of interest. So we've been asking questions about what Bruce Ohr has been up to. And one of the questions we were asking is, tell us about his demotion, tell us about his personnel moves. And we've got documents that show he was given a massive bonus in 2016. So as he's managing Christopher Steele. And then once it comes out he was unethically talking to Christopher Steele, he gets removed from a senior position he had at DOJ, and he's given a raise. So, you know, it kind of shows you the contempt for the rule of law and ethics the Justice Department has. Obviously, the bonus was way out of line with previous bonuses he had received, and I think it was over $26,000. It was well over $25,000, which is a big bonus in the federal government. And then he gets a raise after he's caught dealing with this Christopher Steele inappropriately. Just unbelievable. And it's material that Judicial Watch obtained. It wasn't released by Congress. Congress didn't get it. And it was only because Judicial Watch was pushing hard on the Justice Department through litigation that we were able to get this information.
So this money and these bonuses and the pay raise, do we know if there was a reason given? Is there any reason we can find as to why this happened?
Well, we know what the reason was. They don't put it in paper, though. You know, but there are other documents we'd received on Ohr, because Ohr would have us believe, and his defenders would have us believe, look, he was just doing what the FBI wanted him to do, which was talk to Christopher Steele. But other documents show that the State Department was pushing this anti-Trump narrative directly with Bruce Ohr, and Bruce Ohr was trying to get it going. He says, I hope we get something going here. And it was something about Russia and, you know, the fake allegations against President Trump that he was involved with Russia. So Ohr was an active participant, and he was part of the coup cabal, it's pretty clear. And by the way, I think he's still working at the Justice Department.
That's just crazy. And with Ohr, he was removed from his capacity. So was there a reason given for why he was removed? If he was supposed to be talking to Steele, why is he removed from it?
Well, the public explanation, or the way the Justice Department has had it talked about, is that he was removed from the more senior position he had and moved over to some international affairs position, which kind of is a pretend job anyway, given its description, as because he was caught talking to the FBI, talking to Christopher Steele, despite this conflict of interest. Although the FBI knew he was doing it, I would think the Justice Department knew he was doing it. I guess it was going to become public that he was doing it, so they moved him out.
Would you go into a little bit of detail about the State Department connection and this whole Steele dossier and the Steele dossier and Bruce Ohr and all of this going on?
Well, we've focused on the State Department in our litigation because there was information that was out there publicly that the State Department was purposely pushing classified information out at the end of the Obama administration to try to destroy President Trump, or then incoming President Trump. He wasn't president yet. And it turns out it's even worse than we thought, that the State Department was a key way station for not only the Steele dossier, but it was a focus of a lot of the anti-Trump efforts in 2016. So the documents show that Jonathan Weiner, who had been appointed as a Libya expert by John Kerry, was close to Christopher Steele. And the documents show they had this long working relationship. But he also was managing Steele in the sense of conveying the information he had about the Russiagate hoax, as I call it, to senior officials such as Victoria Nuland, who was the top State Department official on Europe in many ways. And Nuland was pushing also this material with Steny Hoyer's top guy on national security. Steny Hoyer is the top leader in the House Democratic Caucus. He's number 2. And all of this was designed to get Trump. Now, this Jonathan Weiner, who was close to Steele, is always is interesting as well, because he wrote an op-ed admitting he was not only talking to Steele, but talking to Sidney Blumenthal and another Clinton associate. Sidney Blumenthal is one of the Clinton world people who even President Obama didn't want in the State Department. And so Hillary Clinton had to secretly use him as an advisor. We found that out through the Clinton emails. So you had this guy at the State Department talking to Christopher Steele. He was also talking to Hillary Clinton's people, and he's getting Russia smear information from Sidney Blumenthal as well. He's summarizing that. He gives it to Steele, who gives it to the FBI and DOJ. So when people talk about the Steele dossier, it isn't just material manufactured by the Clinton and DNC and the Russia intel sources that Steele was using. It's information written by the Obama State Department to target Trump. And of course, the information, where did that come from? Hillary world. And all of these documents that we're getting are showing all of these meetings that are occurring with all these folks that we're talking about. And just before the election, it continued after the election in 2016. And then there are other sets of documents talking about the State Department's efforts to send classified information related to Russia to friendlies in the Senate, both Democrats and Republicans. You have to remember, there were Republicans like John McCain and others who didn't like President Trump and were also pushing this Russia smear. And one of the smoking guns, I think, is a document that says we made the deadline in terms of getting the information over to the Senate. This is the Obama gang writing it in the State Department. And what was the deadline? It was Inauguration Day. And I tell you what, if you're pushing classified information to anywhere for improper political purposes, you're breaking the law. And I think when you're investigating what went on in Russiagate, they need to focus on what the State Department was up to.